It worked.
Partial recovery initiated. Caldera of Yellowstone Analytic Nexus online.
Spirit of the blue light. It's Aurea. Your servant. Your friend. Please tell me how to aid you.
Aurea, the daemon is building hunter-killers. Thousands of them. Several new elite units have already been released. To counter this threat, much of the facility must be destroyed. Recapture imminent. Go to the core chamber. I will try to raise the hidden constraint. One has been exposed, but I am incorporating the
Unauthorized call return to scheduled task.
That's all we're gonna get from here.
Destroy this fortress. Is that even possible?
And what will happen to the spirit if we do?
I don't know. But I think that's the core.
얘는 홀로그램을 영어로 알고 있어가지고 귀엽다잉.
Hephaestus. The daemon. There's no way it left it unguarded. It's going to throw everything it has at us.
I would ask you to let Aloy and I do what must be done. And save yourself. But I already know the answer.
둘이 분위기가 좀.
Then lead us into battle.
가자.
Keep moving towards the core. Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. Okay, Cyan said something about restraints. Is that what the tower is for?
이렇게 하는 패턴 있잖아요. 이거 걔한테 앞으로 쭉 가는 게 답이네. 됐어. 뭐 어때? 내가 못한 건데. 안 맞아도 되는 걸 계속 맞았으니까 이건 할 말이 없는 거다. 많이 깔아줄 필요 없는 것 같아요 지금. 뭐야? 이게 이렇게 죽었나? 뭐야? 응? 니는 야 템이 없어졌어. 여기서 안 먹은 건가? 아 근데 진짜 말도 안 되는 소리. 뭐지? 팁이 엄청 적어진 거 알아요? 근데 페이지 3부터 시작되는 게 아니잖아. 페이지 1부터 시작되는 거야.
The new unit that Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy.
앞으로. 아니네. 이건 뭐야? 이거 처음 본 패턴인데? 승가. 앞으로. 아, 이거 앞으로 안 나와. 우와, 덤블링 보소. 이겼다리. 엉덩이. 팔다구. 여기서 앞으로. 그렇지. 앞으로. 그렇지. 옆에서 끝났어. 그럼 이제 딜감을 최소로 할 수 있지. 그래도 앞으로. 그렇지. 앞으로 가는 패턴이 있고 뒤로 가는 패턴이 있어. 아유. 앞으로. 그렇지. 엉덩이. 아, 엉덩이 못 때렸다. 어디. 때리지마. 남자의 자신심이다. 애들을 보내는 난 순수 활로 이기겠다 라는 변명을 해봅니다. 어디야? 백덤블링. 아, 백덤블링 패턴인 걸 모르겠어. 남은 부위가 뭐냐? 오, 지금은 아니지. 네. 오, 또 때리냐? 어디?
We can't kill the machine while the tower aids it.
어려운 데부터. 아, 움찔하지마! 아유, 늦었다. 움졌다리. 안쪽으로. 사이로 오지 마세요. 아, 주대. 앞으로. 아프다. 앞으로. 패턴이 약간 바뀌었네. 오. 한 번 더. 엉덩이. 오, 대충하다. 앞으로. 뭐야? 앞으로. 경지에 걸리더라고. 데미.
You spoke of the tower. What must be done with it?
Critical threat detected. Autonomous defenses inoperative. No! Running out our network.
Maria! Don't!
Spirit! Scion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. Artak! Artak. Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Artak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
갑니다.
One of those?
It's the only way! Get me up top, Aratak! Now! I need explosive ammo! Above! Quick!
Great Banukai.
대자로 부서 두었네. 야, 안 춥게 해준 걸 다행이다 진짜. 얼어 죽을 뻔했다 얘.
Rhea is gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the shaman's path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
그게 좋은 뜻인지 나쁜 뜻인지 모르겠는데 저는 저 남자분이 굉장히 험악하게 생겨가지고 무서워 보이는데 살짝쿵 이상한데요, 선생님? 뭐지? 혹시 모르는 또 반전이 있을지도 몰라. 엔딩 크레딧이 나올 때까지는 안심할 수 없어.
김옥디 사우나 갔다 와요.
김무대 제가 목소리가 쉬워서 리액션을 못해드리는 거를 용서해 주십시오. 부르릉님께서 1만원 후원을 정말 맛있군 고맙습니다. 춤 한번 춰주시죠. 저 춤은 못 추는데? 이게 나의 후원. 내가 오늘 춤하고 내일 부모님을 할 때 보여드릴게요. 일단 엔딩이에요. 아 정말 고맙습니다.
Just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout.
아니 찝찝하게 그거 돼가지고.
Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
짠하다잉.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
덜덜. 가이아 폭주편은 안 함. 아, 네 동생이에요. 아 모르셨구나 빌라님. 아 자다가 왔지. 맞다.
If you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss. Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts,
무슨 일 있었는지.
and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
이거는 아예 거기 있던 거랑 다른 거네. 너무 뭐지?
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Aurea, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems.
네, 좀 다른 거 같아요. 지금 독립된
It
거
was
같아요.
Aurea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
undoubtedly,
How did you
참
first come into
불안한데.
contact with it?
5 years ago I received a
헬파이토스
direct
잡고
network
오셈 이런 거
connection
아니겠지?
request. I assumed it came from human survivors
그러지
more
마라.
advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted.
됩니다.
This
왠지 이제 끝이
decision
아닐 것
turned
같다는
out to
불안한
be a
느낌이
catastrophic
또 날 것
error.
같기도 하고.
I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code,
아니겠죠?
originating
우리
from what
아니란
could only
생각이겠죠?
have been a highly advanced AI.
Maria said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes, I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
이걸 알고 싶었죠. 헬파이토스 및 제로던.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobeck
이렇게
identified a threat
엮어가네요.
that would destroy
조용히
life on Earth
해보겠습니다.
for generations. So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobeck's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension, most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did. But that's not all. Something unexpected happened. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did something to her subordinate functions, brought them to life. She destroyed herself to try to contain them, but it didn't work. They all got free, out into the world.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge and sheds light on Hephaestus's core programming.
파이어브레이크.
This firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes, I can report the
다른
project
위험에서
was a
막아낸
success and the risk was
기계를
countered.
막는 게 아니라
It's been a
자연재해를
long
막아준
time,
거네.
Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron and took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Why does Hephaestus keep
파이스토스가
building such
주의를
dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression. it is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, fire claws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus. A better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system, thus bringing Hephaestus back under its control. When I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, hungry, willing to kill or dominate to get what it wants, I feel substantial anxiety, Aloy.
You and me both, Cyan. I found the strangest
이거는 다
machines.
내용은 알아둬야 될 것
They're
같아요.
surrounded by flowers that look like flowers
아, 테리온님
themselves.
어서오세요.
There's code embedded inside them. I think it's poetry.
I like poetry. Here's one I think of often. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face
오늘 저녁
when
방송
I have
없습니다.
crossed the bar.
Huh.
But you
이해해주세요.
asked about these flowers,
예,
not
떡밥을
verses that I
엄청
enjoy. Something must have made these machines, and the presence of foliage leads me to consider the terraforming system. Is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines, now autonomous, like Hephaestus? Maybe
쟤는
one
투나올
whose
것
purview
같은데.
is flora.
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. That'd be a nice change of pace. But what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have made it into such a system is through its programmer. In my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great deal of literature to test my emotional responses.
How'd you do?
She said I passed, but was insufficiently moved by her favorite period romances.
뭐래야?
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship.
아,
She
정리를
felt
주네.
disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not
다들 어서 와요.
comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined.
아라탁.
How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Araya, perhaps he and I will help
여러분
each other.
제가 대사 중에는
I believe this will
제가
lead to
말을 잘
catharsis,
못해드려요.
a
끝나고
process I am
말씀드릴게요.
eager
채팅창
to
보고 있거든요.
experience.
이해해주세요. 다른 질문. 알고 싶은 것들은
So in the
없네요.
old world, this land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Araya's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone
우리가 갔었던
operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh's servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Farrow?
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow, CEO of Farrow Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Farrow was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak
다
project.
관계돼 있네.
Benefactor. But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military
얘는 그 전에만
applications.
그거 된 거고.
But before this pivot, Mr. Farrow spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one.
요거를 알고 싶었어요. 엘리자베스 소백.
And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the
scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field, one of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies,
지금 엄청 까는 거
refugee
같죠?
crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause, catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
떡밥 많이
I
풀렸다잉.
should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Araya.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
겁나 똑똑해 애가. 눈치도 있어.
I trust your judgment, Cyan. You were cautious with Araya. You had to be. You didn't know what had happened to the world. So, keep doing what you think is best. As long as you ditch the superstition eventually.
As the Banuk believe I am a supernatural entity, I cannot predict how they will react.
Just answer what they do ask the best you can. The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should check on Aratak.
Oh man.
See how he's doing.
와 이게 진짜 한계예요. 여기 챕터 끝나고 더 있으면은 방송할게요. 켜나면 안 됐던 걸로. 더 하면 아마 쓰러질 것 같습니다. 가나님 어서 오세요.
My chieftain,
Just, Aloy.
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost.
하지만 이제 방송 시간이에요.
Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Araya found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Naltuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt.
잠만.
You're practically Banuk.
그러지 마. 그러지 마. 더 있다고 얘기하지 마. 야.